Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me are my partners and co-hosts in crime, guys that have been holding down the fort while I've been gone. That would be the Wild Ute and Moen. How are you guys doing tonight?
Let's freaking go. That's how we're doing tonight.
Excellent. Moen.
Friday the 13th, guys.
Oh, is that what that is? All right. We have surprises. So Friday, yeah, maybe this is a horror show. That is quite possible. I know what you're going to get tonight is a lot of action. Should be a very lively conversation. We would like to involve you, so make sure you leave us your comments, questions, anything you want us to possibly cover tonight. That's what we're here to do. Certainly, we're going to talk about the house settlement tonight. We're going to talk about the last 8 days and some of the stuff that we started to sort out, details, accusations, declarations, all kinds of stuff we're going to be talking about as we process kind of what is going on in college sports today. Please follow us on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and, generally turn on those notifications so you know when we're tweeting and also when our shows are going to pop up, like tonight's show, and get involved. Consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia family. Moen, how do they go about doing that?
To become a member of the College Football Mafia family, click the little cash icon underneath the chat window. From there, you can become a member, gift a membership, leave a super chat, leave a super sticker. Every single one of those options helps us keep the lights on here at the College Football Mafia Social Club.
I love it. Everybody get involved. This is what we're asking for. Give us feedback. Certainly engage with us on social media. That's part of what we do around here. And hopefully we can touch on a few keystones as we have our conversation tonight. I've had a couple of shows. I had one last night. I had a very informative legal consigliere show this afternoon. If you didn't get a chance to see that, when we're done tonight, tune in. It was free to everybody. It was the last live show, and we answered a bunch of questions that had to do with the house settlement and kind of how people are dealing with that. So I'd encourage everybody to sign up for those and get involved. Okay, let's just start with this. Let's start with rants tonight. I'm going to turn you loose first. I know you have a lot of opinions. You've had a week now to go over not only the House decision, but some of the information that's come out in the last week, including today. What was it? A 36-page dossier, essentially, from an NCAA settlement that had a bunch of declarations in it. Now, I got a bunch of stuff I don't want to go through that I thought was just laugh out loud funny. I know you have some stuff. We'll ask Moen too. I'm not sure how much his opinion will be, but certainly let's get into that and let's jump right in. What were some of your thoughts in this last week?
Some of my thoughts that just came up are I can't really say consigliere very well. So consigliere. It's one of the hardest words I've ever had to say in my life. So that is freaking tough. It's Friday. Let's take a drink to that Georgia Tech TL.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse. I haven't talked about Syracuse for
a while. We got to get the double drink here for Syracuse. That's how this week has gone, and we are going to rock it tonight here. So seriously, you know what? It's good days in college football with the clearinghouse coming in and actually bringing things back to normal. We're not in just like a unfettered, unregulated environment anymore. We actually have some bounds, and we can actually perform like we used to in college football. You can actually recruit like you used to. It's not just about the over-the-counter bagmen. It's not just about your Ryan Smiths that come in with $1 billion and everything. So I'm happy we're taking the billionaires out of the game. And it's just going to create a more competitive environment across the board and everything. So it's a pleasing time for a lot of fan bases and everything. So I think this is the way college football needs to go into the future, if it's collectively bargained or not. I think that, the collective presence needs to just be kicked out. Collectives don't have any business in college football. Let the schools do the NIL. Can't stand the collectives anymore. Can't stand the legal stuff talking about all the freaking time. These lawyers are just, man, all they talk about is like, hey, we'll sue this, sue that. I'm so sick of hearing about lawsuits. It's college football. Like, seriously, like, let's just watch games. Let's talk about fun stuff like realignment. The lawsuits, just hearing about lawsuits left and right, lawsuit. It just makes me want to blow my freaking mind, guys. I'm serious. Like, there's a point in time where we just talk about lawsuits so much that you're just like, hey, if I go left, we're going to get sued, go right, go backwards, fall down, I'm going to get sued. It's a great time to be a freaking lawyer and everything. But as a fan, it blows to be talking about lawsuits all the time. So if you wanted to hear a rant, I'm just absolutely sick of it. It's part of the game. It's important to know. And we get the best people on this channel and everything, but I just seeing it all the time on the lawsuits with NIL, with everything going on, with suing for this, suing for that, just like, it just makes it less fun in some ways. So there's my rant for the day.
I appreciate that. I think that's a good perspective. It has dominated this offseason. Certainly last offseason, we weren't much different. Moen, what are some of your thoughts as this last week has gone by? I get the frustration and the possible upside from where Utes at. What are your thoughts?
It's been a tough week, but you put it pretty succinctly. It's Friday. We're going to have some fun, let our hair down a little bit. We're going to do a little drinking. I got a little more of that blackberry whiskey, but don't worry, guys. I always come prepared. I got a bird in a skirt right here, boys.
What is in that bag, Mo?
Bird in a skirt.
What the heck is a bird in the skirt?
Got a little bit of
what the heck is
that? Crown Royal?
That's regular Crown Royal. No more flavored Crown Royals.
Okay.
So
all right.
We're back to regular.
Where did that come from? A bird in a skirt? I've never even heard that term before.
That used to be a term that winos would use for. I don't know if you've ever heard of the wonderful drink Thunderbird before.
No. Oh, Thunderbird.
No.
It's a bum wine. It was.
Okay, great.
It used to be the saying. Used to be, what's the word?
Is that in Ohio? You guys drinking the Thunderbird?
No, they drink that everywhere. They drink that everywhere.
Bird is the word, but now bird with a skirt. I appreciate that.
And then if you couldn't drink in public, so you would just keep your Thunderbird in the paper bag it came in, and it was a bird in a skirt. So I just call any liquor bottle a bird in a skirt.
I thought it was always like malt liquors and beer and stuff in like the bags. It's wine.
They were called winos because that's what it was.
It's called winos. Yeah, it's
like 5 cents a gallon wine.
It's called low end fortified wine because really it's just nasty alcohol and cheap wine.
It just makes me sick to even say that out loud. Let's get some shout outs as we get into the show. We'll kind of see how everybody's thinking tonight. Let's jump here. Antoine Johnson's first one in. Valuable member, obviously a long-standing member of the College Football Mafia family. We appreciate that. That little S next to Antoine's name, that means he is a member. To become a member, to have access to not only all our member videos, but really become part of the family, just hit that $, sign up to be one of the member levels, and join us as we go into this season. We're looking to go big, and we're driving for subscriptions. Help us out there. If you're watching, give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment or question. We definitely try to answer those. Antoine says, first, celebrating Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. Since 2 of my daughters work on Sunday, can't wait to catch the replay. Smash that like button, everybody. Go Devils.
Thank you, Antoine.
Thank you, Antoine. We appreciate you, and happy Father's Day to you too. Joseph Kerlegan Jr., one of the best names out there. Good to have you here, Joseph. I would have never agreed to a settlement with the NCAA, period. I can see this NIL Clearinghouse as a way to go back to how the NCAA was. I would do everything in my power to bankrupt the NCAA. So before I give you guys a second, I'm going to say I'm with Joseph here. I think the NCAA is broken. I think it needs to be replaced, and it may. We have this A4 meeting coming up in the next couple weeks that maybe they do sort of shrug off the NCAA rules and say we're going to do it ourselves. We don't know what that looks like yet, but certainly the NCAA is not known for being the most forthright organization. As far as it comes to dealing with the players, that's a tough deal. They don't have collective bargaining. They're not really being treated as employees. That's a nut we still have to crack, guys.
Yeah. Like what are the players now?
I don't know.
They're some hybrid, right? They're not employees. They're not students.
Right.
Like I would wager that most of them are not going to class. Like it's a loose affiliation with the school.
Maybe.
Like what is this? Like what are we talking about here? And it's all type of complex if you try to make them employees. Because they're state employees, I guess.
Are they?
Come on, guys!
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know.
If they play for UConn, Ohio State, they are. because they're public schools.
Yeah, I mean, like that's not going to happen though.
I
The
don't
state
know.
employees to go monitor their compensation, like on state reports and everything. It works for private schools a lot more, but I don't know what we're even like dealing with now. And nobody does. That's the kind of beauty in this murkiness and everything that we're talking about.
Fair. Let's see. You're Skaven. Yes. Checking in. Good to see you, Skaven. Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Hello.
Everything Texas State. Good evening. Good Friday evening. Good to have you here. Everything Texas State. What do you guys think? Is Texas State get the call up next week, which has been rumored?
If it doesn't happen next week, it's going to happen sometime over the next 6 months. We definitely know that. I don't know about
so.
Next week, but I'm so sure that Texas State's going to the Pac-12 that I'm actually working on a video that we'll produce here over the next week or two about Texas State's competitiveness in the Pac-12. I think this is a done deal. I think we should basically already assume it's a done deal. I'm going to start doing analysis, assuming Texas State's in the conference, to look at how they compete in the conference. So look for that video coming.
Is UTSA part of that?
No.
Okay.
UTSA is not coming. Yeah.
The reason I ask is because with 8 teams, you only have 7 conference games.
Right.
With 9 teams, you have 8 conference games. Either way, you're playing interconference maybe twice a year, a team or two, just to get you to 9 conference teams, so you don't get worked on all of your outer conference games. That's a tough deal, scheduling, right?
Gonzaga needs to get their little tushy and make a football team.
Play football? They used to play football, actually. Did you know
They
that?
got to do it. They've
had a
got to
football
do it.
team
They could really help the Pac-12 out by just fielding a football team.
That's very, very true. Let's see. Outlaw Skies, good to have you here. He says, let's go. Then he says, oh. Then he says, OP. And then he says, low. And then he says, is the Big Ten adding ASU? Not today. Not today.
Not right now. That's all speculative.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
All speculative, guys.
Nah. It's not happening anytime soon. Bob Swanger, Penn State in the house. He's been with me the last couple of days. I appreciate Bob representing the Big Ten and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Hey, College Football Mafia. Good to have you here. And thank you very much for your membership, Bob. You've helped us anchor and take hold, and now we're flourishing because of guys like you. I really, really appreciate you. That goes with Outlaw Skies as well. Thank you for your membership in the Mafia family. Outlaw Skies, we really appreciate it. He also says hi, as you see there. Let's see. Rock and Rant checking in, $2 super chat. Contributor extraordinaire, somebody who runs College Football Express on YouTube, says to help buy Wisconsin off probation. Is $2 enough, Moen?
I don't know, but Ryan Willie, he probably has something to say about it.
Maybe that's possible.
I'll wait and hear what my Badger brother Ryan Willie has to say.
Okay.
I will put faith in what he says. I'm sorry, Rock, but Miami's got no room to be throwing stones.
Oh boy, that's such a tough deal.
And by the way, Rock, we've still got Jeremiah Smith.
And who's the cheaters? Ooh. Who's the cheaters in this? Is it Miami? Is it Wisconsin?
Well, everybody's cheating.
I know, right? That's it. Everybody.
But I'm just saying.
I like it. I like it.
You're not a nun.
BYU Football Shonsky checking in. Another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. What's up, guys? Good to see you on a Friday. Dallas Marquez checking in, saying hello, everyone. Good to see you, Dallas. Almighty Finn in the house. What's up, Bomber Mo and Wild Ute? Is FSU still going to be stuck in the ACC forever? That was something I was going to ask Greg when I called in to peek around the corner this evening. What's going on with Florida State? We heard about this maybe drop in 24-hour notice for a board of, is it governors or trustees meeting in the next few days? What do you guys think about that?
I think Florida State's going to get out of the ACC as soon as possible. Are they going to stay in the ACC forever? Heck no, they're not. Because come on, guys, like we know they've sued to try to get out. They're trying to get out any which way. It's cheap to get out. It really isn't that expensive. Pay $140 million and you'll get out of the conference. Compared to like what the future media rights of your next contract's worth, that's nothing. You're talking about how large these institutions are. Is it going to be Big 10? Moan says no to that. Does that still make a ton of sense? On paper, yes, because FSU is the crown jewel of realignment. Said it many times and everything for many different ways. The Big Ten, if they pass on Florida State, is a huge, huge airball. It's a huge mistake. So I still think there's got to be a shot for that no matter what anybody says, because it makes too much dang sense in so many different ways. It's a profitable venture. SEC in Florida State, to me, doesn't make as much sense. SEC is already in the state of Florida. What do you really get by adding FSU? You get more good football content. You've got a great football content. It just doesn't amplify as much as the Big Ten does. So then we're looking at best of the rest. Best of the rest, Florida State. Might they start something else with the best of the Big 12 and the ACC? Yes. That is going to be a better option staying in the ACC. So they're getting out of the ACC. Will it be the Big Ten, best of the rest, or the SEC? We will find out.
Moen?
They will not be stuck in the ACC as you know it forever.
Okay.
And I will put it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that. MBM checking in, not only a powerful member of the College Football Mafia family, but somebody who's come in has really been a super stud in supporting the channel. We appreciate you, MBM. Thank you so much for all you do. Wild Ute needs a drink. Take a swig. Also, 5 + 11 is better than 4422 Ute.
Ooh, man, MBM, you're still on that from last week.
He's hitting you hard, brother.
MBM, like you and I both want the same thing. We both want Oklahoma State and Utah to get in the playoff every single year. Let's be honest. Like, I would be happy if Oklahoma State and Utah made the Big 12 playoff every year. I'm sorry, other Big 12 fans. I love Oklahoma State. I freaking love them. I want the Utes and the Cowboys to get in the playoff every year. How can we do it? Is it more likely in a 5-11 situation or a 4-4-2-2? I would argue 4-4-2-2, but that's just an argument between friends. Thank you for the super chat.
All right. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, MBM.
He gets this, oh, hold up. He's got to get his sounders.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Got to get his sounders.
Fine.
Let's, he's a bad man.
I'm
a bad man. You hear me?
And he's got his Oklahoma State fight song. And just a reminder that Moen is ordered.
Give him that South Park one. That's the one. That is MBM's.
Which one?
The one with Cartman singing about Cowboys. That's like Moen's like
I don't
go-to.
remember that one.
Moen is the word. Moen is the word. All right?
Well, I'm a badass cowboy living in the cowboy days. Wicky, wicky, scratch, yo, bang, bang. Me and Artemis, Clyde, Frog,
all right.
Down the high ass from the big metal spider.
So MBM.
Wicky, fresh cowboy from the west side.
I hope NVM you think you got your money's worth there, because that was a lot of
did.
airtime. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks, MBM.
The architect checking in, saying hello. Good to see you, architect.
Hey.
It's been a minute. Appreciate you being here. Penn State Sports Talk. New to the channel, maybe. I'm not sure I recall you, but thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy your time. Feel free to leave your comments. We'll definitely track with you. Penn State is represented here well in the on this Big Freaking Friday show, and we appreciate you. I'm like the new changes. I'm like the new changes.
He likes the new changes.
Okay, all right, whatever those are.
He's for it.
The clearinghouse, baby, and the house settlement. Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Daniel Gygax checking in, contributor and helper around here, also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Showed with Becky Go Huskies with Moen on Wednesday night. That was a good show. Appreciate you guys. At BYU football, improper phone calls. That's out of context. I have no idea.
That is regards to the Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. All right. Penn State Sports Talks also said you don't have to pay all $20.5 million to the athletes. You can use it to fund scholarships. So let's be very clear. The money scholarships already come off the top. Your 20.5 is going to include whatever your scholarship output is. So for football, it's generally around $2.5 million for 105 players. That's an estimate. Yeah.
Sorry.
Scholarships come off the top. So if you have 12 sports that you provide full scholarships to, all that money comes out of the 20.5 million.
Ohio State has 4 sports.
Four.
That's all they're funding out of it is 4.
Like,
go ahead.
Have I ever told you guys how much I love Penn State football? Like, I think Penn State's got a best logo, like a top 3 logo in all of sports.
That's true. Their cougar head is a cool looking cougar
I
head.
tell you what, when they were independent and it was just white helmets and just kick ass, that's the Penn State I miss.
Penn State, like everything about it, Beaver Stadium stuff, even like, you know, like the Big Mountain guys, the Big Mountain podcast, go check that out.
Right.
I love those guys and stuff. Steve is a the Penn State guys tell me about like all the stuff going on at Penn State tailgating and like season ticket holders. I mean, Penn State, oh man, I love it. Penn State's so great. Like history, the pageantry, the fan base size, the loyalty, the logo. Love it, man. I love Penn State.
Okay. Everybody knows that Utes come in with a little energy tonight. I hope everybody's appreciating this because it's not like this every Friday night. Tonight. Okay.
That's right.
David Floyd says Texas Tech is greater than Utah.
What?
Texas, you're right, David. Thank you for your comment. That's all I got.
Did you guys check out? I think that it was man, who was it? I think that was like Tim Fitzgerald over at like K-State. He does a K-State podcast. He's big in the K-State circles in Big 12. He talked about the most important game for the Big 12 is Texas Tech at Utah.
Okay.
Actually, and so that is a massive game, guys. Texas Tech week 4 going to Utah is going to be a huge swing game for the Big 12 to see where it moves. Okay. So that is a massive, massive football game. I will be there. If any Texas Tech folks are coming out there, let me know.
Okay. All right. Steele Austin checking in. Another Utah Ute in the house saying College Football Mafia. Let's go. Good to see you, Steele. Let's see. We'll keep going here. I'm trying to get as many comments in at the beginning of the show as I can. We will keep going. Friends call me Sean checking in. Another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family saying, how much would it cost in billions for private capital to convince the Big Ten to add 10 schools and become the first super conference? Moen.
It's double digit.
Okay, 10 million?
You're talking
10 billion, I mean?
10 billion at minimum. You're probably closer to 20 billion
20
for private
billion.
equity to come in and buy a share of the Big Ten. What they choose to do with it after that, anybody's guess. Again, Sean, I take it you saw my Wednesday show with Daniel Gygax and Becky Go Huskies. We speculated if the private capital were to come in, would the Big move to 32 teams? And would we have a true NFL model in college football? Lots of people liked it. Some people didn't like it. But, yeah, it was interesting. It was a speculative show. I think maybe next week we'll do a speculative one on what the SEC would look like after private equity. We've got a 32-team Big Ten. We've got to figure out what a 24-team or 28-team SEC would look like in the new world of college football in 2035.
It's fun to talk about these what ifs and maybe coulds. Friends, call me Sean. Thank you so much for your comment. Great to have you here, man. Nitwit in with a $50 super chat. First, I got to give claps to Nitwit. He did a fantastic call in on Peek Around the Corner. Greg Fluor, he actually followed up on my call. Did a great job representing there. Thank you so much, Nitwit. It's great to see you. And thank you very much for your loyalty as long as you've been around. House drinks for everybody. So,
dude, give him that Penn State. Where's that Penn State guy?
Let's
I know
go.
We've got Penn State guys.
There's got to be something in there, Mo.
It's right there. It's the Cougar. See? Excuse me.
The Nittany Lion, baby.
It's a Nittany Lion.
It's a Nittany Lion. It's not a Cougar. Yeah. Even though I like Cougars, it is definitely a Nittany Lion. Well, that's a cougar technically, but okay.
And we'll let him cook too.
Let him cook.
Sure.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
All right. And thank you so much, Nitwit. It's
thank
great
you,
to
Nitwit.
see you.
We've got let's see. We've got one more here. We can put this one up.
Okay.
Happy Friday the 13th, Nitwit.
Is that what Penn State's going to do to Ohio State this year? I'm imagining you're playing.
You see,
baby.
Believe it or not, at Penn State in the whiteouts, you see a lot of the fans wearing the classic Jason hockey masks. So,
I did not know that. That's scary.
It makes you feel good.
You got to try it. It makes you feel good.
All right. Sergeant Pickles checking in saying, afternoon all, what have I missed? You've just missed Ute going off on tirades and Moen just sort of having himself a ball.
Hey, we're having a good time. It's
having a good time. It's great to see you, Pickles. Thank you so much. And
I have a tirade I can go on.
No, not yet.
Let him rip. Let him
Not
rip.
yet. No, I'm driving. Not yet, Moen. I'll turn you loose in a little bit. Good to see you, Pickles. Thank you so much, and thanks for being a contributor around here at the College Football Mafia Network. We really appreciate it. I'm trying to get as many of these shout outs, and then I'll give Moen some time. Jason Spangler checking in, saying peace in the Middle East.
100%. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. I'm not going to, this is not a political show. But yeah, peace. Everybody should be praying for peace because it is not peaceful in the Middle East right now. Conundrum checking in saying, are they still trying to steal players' money? Yes, they will continue to do that, Conundrum. Just count on it. Pitt Sniper Husker. Good afternoon, y'all. Pitt Sniper Husker, it's great to have you here. I hope you're not a renamed genetics account. That's all I got to say. Husker fans.
What's his image there? Is that just a guy?
I can't see it. I can't see it. Moen, can you see what that is? I can't tell what that picture is.
That's a dude.
That's a
dude. Up 3 fingers.
That's a dude with 3. Okay. All right. Let's see here. A few more shout outs and then we will get to Moen's rant. Joe Z checking in saying Georgia Tech. You know what
Cheers
to do. Georgia Tech. This is
Go
Nitwit
Trojans.
has got it exactly. Black shoes, no names. Penn State. White helmets.
Penn State,
can't forget the white helmets. That's
Penn State's like the kind of like if you're an outside investor, like if you're an international investor and you want to get into college football, Penn State, like to me, is like a brand that you'd absolutely just jump at.
Yeah, Penn
like,
State,
seriously.
Notre Dame, Alabama, Ohio State, maybe. But you're buying a logo.
State, maybe.
Ohio State,
By the way,
I'm not sure that's investable. I'm not
that's
sure
Deadpool with baby legs. We were
Okay,
wondering. It's
Deadpool.
Deadpool with baby legs.
Gotcha.
I wasn't
Baby
really
logo.
wondering, but I appreciate you clearing that up. Big Lubbock says afternoon. Good to see you, Lubbock. Seven Old School checking in, representing the Florida State. Seminoles. Still in the ACC. Don in Kansas. Evening, everyone. Don in Kansas, another member of the College Football Mafia family. Thank you so much, Don. It's good to have you. Thank you, Moen, for a timely.
Is Don a Wildcat or is he a Jayhawk?
I
thought Don
don't
was
know.
like a Wildcat.
Don, will you tell us? Because I was confused earlier too. You've been around here forever. I've just never been kind enough to ask. Is it are you a Jayhawk or are you Wildcat? Let us.
I think he's a Wildcat.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Just in the comments, just say. Numbskull News, another member of the College Football Mafia family. Thank you so much, Numbskull. Good to have you around. Got to have you back on the show, man. It's been too long. I'll let this other crap get in the way. We need to have you on. Yay, all money all the time. Yep. I'm with him. I'm with him there. Okay, that is all the
How
new
much
comments.
you guys want to pay college athletes? I just got to ask that, like, for like all you money guys and stuff. Like,
what about
I know, like, it's not like it's not your budget and stuff. Like, how much is unreasonable though?
There is no
college athletes make more than pro athletes. Like,
I don't care.
Like
just
pro athletes have a cap though because of the collective bargaining. If there was the same type of system in the pros, just imagine how much Patrick Mahomes would be making.
Right. But I'd say the opposite. If you have collective bargaining, then you have a salary cap, and you have
we're
salary
dealing with nonprofits, not for-profit businesses.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Come on now.
Well, check
They're
it out.
making
check out
all
the
kinds
structure.
of money. No. This is not.
I mean, these are nonprofits. Like that's legitimate. 100%.
No way. College sports is not altruistic. It's not existing just to exist sake. It's there to support the rest of the athletics department. It's to make money.
Well, that's what all nonprofits are for, basically.
Not really. No, that's not true.
Expense out your compensation.
Come on now. That's not true.
Come on.
Nonprofits are not to make money. You work in a bank. You work in a bank. How can you defend this position? You work in a bank. You know what it is. I know you are. I know. All right. Before we get on anything, by the way, Dave's checking in. Sorry, wrong one. Dave's here. Dave's here is another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to have you here, Dave. Rich people spend $100 million on America's Cup boat, so start there. There you go. Okay. All right, Moen, you have 29 minutes and 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. My rant has nothing to do with college football, but today we were watching the Friday the 13th movie series, and I have to say, there's murders at this camp every year. Their insurance rates must be through the roof. And why do people keep going to Camp Crystal Lake? This has to be known that there are murders at this camp every single year. The insurance has to be through the roof. Why is anybody letting their kids go to this Camp Crystal Lake unless they're taking out life insurance policies on these kids, hoping they die? I mean, it never stops. I could not imagine trying to run a summer camp at Camp Crystal Lake and get business insurance. That's all I want to say. That's it.
Moen, I think it's because they're smoking them Tarletons, right?
They're smoking them Tarletons. As a matter of fact, we usually save this for the end of the show.
Oh no! Stop
After
it.
a long day of stalking
Stop
camp
it.
counselor,
No
counselors,
cigarettes.
Carlton,
No cigarettes. No cigarettes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why run into the shed that has all the saws in it? You know, right? Why run into the basement? I don't understand.
it's like there's been murders there since like 1983.
Yeah,
At
like,
some
Why
point,
go into the water? That's the real
Yeah.
question. That's
I
the
don't
real
know.
All right, I appreciate that rant, Moen. That was fantastic. Okay, I want to share this, and I think this. If you want a real laugh, this is hilarious. So, this 32-page or 68-page, whatever the page document came out from the NCAA settlements today, and everybody went through it, right? I know that's all you were doing today. For the second half of the day, you were just looking for quotes to come up with out of that document. And one of the things that came out of it, and I think this is hilarious, is, and I'm going to make this big. I apologize, Ute and Moen. This is going to be kind of hard to read. So I'm going to take the comment so everybody can track it here. The reply is actually from Mike Ingersoll, but the original tweet is from Ross Dellinger. And I mean, this is the article, okay? So everybody can go and read the article. His headline is, "This week, Orlando, Deloitte, and college leaders lifted the veil on NIL Go Clearinghouse, revealing new info on the penalty menu, compensation range logarithm, and most significant, the subpoena power will be used in arbitration." Okay, so let's take that apart for a second. Subpoena power. So who actually has the ability to subpoena anybody? It's not going to be a civil suit. It's not going to come. It has to come from a judge. So there is no subpoena power available. And you know how I know this? Because I asked all of my lawyer friends, and every one of them said it's a joke that they would put this in the document, that they would have subpoena power. Now, if you really want to require people to submit documentation or to show up, you have to go in, you have to put before a judge, this is what we would like to have somebody produce information on, and then a judge would have to issue a subpoena. Nobody's issuing a subpoena from the House document. NIL Go has no House subpoena power. So let's just talk about this one piece. In my opinion, this one statement pretty much invalidates the rest of the document, because what it does is it basically says it has no teeth. It's making blanket statements to try to prove a point, and that is rein in dollars. Okay, so what do you guys think about this subpoena power that they've claimed?
Go ahead.
Well,
Ron.
I mean, did they agree to it? Did everybody who signed on agree to it? Did you
there is
agree to
there is
some
no
form
such
of
thing. There's
arbitration?
arbitration, but
Right.
there's no subpoenas.
Right. But is that what they're saying, that they could subpoena you to their arbitration model that everybody agreed to?
No.
Well,
They're literally making a
that doesn't make
declaration
any sense. You have to file a court case, or you have to file something in court in order for you to be subpoenaed. So
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I asked, I'm sorry, there's 12 lawyers here that all said the exact same thing. An arbitrator cannot compel a third party to do anything.
right.
So to do anything, they cannot compel them to do anything. So now you're the NIL Go. I know you're looking forward to talking about NIL Go tonight. How do you justify any of the claims of control?
I just want to. Can I give you guys an illustration really quick?
Yeah, go. Yeah, yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, I've got a pen right here. I've got a piece of paper right here. Let me sign this. Okay. Here we go. It says Wild Ute. This is my signature. Let me exchange this signature right here over to a collective for $1 million. Okay. That is our contract and everything. Guys, this is what's been happening. This is the kind of garbage right here that's pay for play, inducement based garbage. My signature is not worth anything, but nobody's signature like this is worth anything. Not even Michael Jordan's. It's bunk crap. It's not actually what NIL's for. So I think that we're missing the point here. NIL's for actual going out there and getting endorsements and getting like money for you doing endorsement.
Fair market.
It's fair market, right? Like if you're
what they
commercial
use,
and stuff. What are you worth? Like, what is your name, image, likeness worth? If you're a 5-star, maybe some people have heard of you. Maybe that's worth 10 grand. It's not worth 10 million. Like, and so what's going on here is not really, it's not NIL at all. It's just pay for play. And I think that we just need to go back to that point and everything, just to say this needs to be regulated, because this stupid piece of paper, if I'm a 5-star recruit, it's not worth $5 million. That's a joke. Why are we even doing that kind of stuff? That's true. It's what's going on right now. One signature on a freaking piece of paper for $5 million. That's not NIL. That's performance-based paper play. That's not exactly what we're doing here, guys. It's not supposed to be like that. That's what drives me nuts about this whole argument. So forget like the Deloitte and everything. Just like, let's get this in check, because like that's not what college sports is about, guys. Never been about that. Like, I'm okay with getting like players some money and everything, but freaking a signature for $5 million is a joke. And I'm sick of seeing that kind of stuff.
It's, again, if we're talking about recruits, you're talking about perspective, the perspective value of the recruit.
Are we? Are we talking about a contractual value with a service?
Okay, let's look at Jeremiah.
You're not contracting through the university; it's through like a car dealership.
You're doing it through a collective, or you were. Now you can't, but you were. Jeremiah Smith got paid $4 million.
It's just different.
Jeremiah Smith got paid $4 million to come to Ohio State last year and do some stuff.
Right.
What stuff did he do?
He's done some local He's done local advertising, things like that. Now you say
he's getting more than Patrick Mahomes in advertisement. How does that make any sense?
He's not getting more than Patrick. He's not getting
Patrick
more
Mahomes
than
isn't making $4 million on his advertisements. Like that's
please.
Wait,
Patrick Mahomes is in every State Farm.
I don't think that's right, Ute. I think State Farm by himself is probably.
Well, just think about if you threw Patrick Mahomes in Columbus, Ohio, doing the same type of advertisements, he's not making $4 million doing what Jeremiah Smith's doing.
Same thing with NFL rookie draft. You know, you get a rookie deal that's based on perspective. You get paid based on where you were drafted. Jeremiah Smith, to that collective at Ohio State, they said, yeah, it's $4 million, but we think he's going to be a valuable enough asset that where we can make money off of his name, image, and likeness. So
it's performance-based, Moen. It's not based on you monetizing his name, image, likeness into making more revenues for a company. It's strictly performance-based. That's the problem. That's the fundamental problem with this whole thing.
No, you're right. They can make more if he does good performance-wise. But
they're not making anything. That's the point. They're not doing anything.
But they're selling it for local advertising. They are you. I've seen Jeremiah Smith in local advertising. They've sold it. My point of view is that I don't like NIL Go because it limits what a player can make. And it's nobody's business what he can make. It's free capital. You should be able to make whatever you want to make.
Can I,
you guys, every market. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to try to reset the table here, if people just jumped into the show, we're talking about what is fair and reasonable market value, right? How do you establish that? And then how is that enforced? Ute is saying, let's be reasonable. A signature on a piece of paper and just going and signing autographs isn't worth more than several $1,000s. It vary at the most outset. And in the past, a lot of those appearances have been paid in the hundreds, if not millions of dollars for the same type of work, if they do even go through. Moen's point, and I lean towards Moen, is if you go in and you actually do something and you bring value. Let me bring AJ DeBanza to BYU, right? BYU's paying them between $2.5–3 million a year. BYU is. The NILs and the advertising, Nike and a few of the other big advertisers, I think there's a travel company in there, maybe Breeze Airways. Anyways, is making the balance of whatever he's making at BYU. But what value he brings to BYU is in the tens of millions of dollars. And I'll tell you why. It's not just in his advertising. It's all of the preseason publicity. Everything that has come to BYU is you could easily market, in my opinion, and I'm not a market analyst, but I'd love to find somebody. If anybody out there watching right now or watching later knows a market analyst, please put them in contact with me, because I'd love to have them explain to us, because we don't know, that's not our business, what the market analysis would look like for a brand to come to a school. And Jeremiah Smith to Ohio State, there's no way you can't say that didn't bring millions of dollars of revenue to the school. Okay. So why couldn't you turn around and give them a portion of that, a good portion of that, because they're the ones that are putting out the effort. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying I want just a signature $10 million. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying the amount of money and perception that it comes to the school, or let's say Cam Rising, before he got hurt last year, the previous 2 years, he was getting paid to do nothing. He was getting paid to literally do nothing because he was hurt. And yet, how much gravitas did he bring to your program, Ute? Sitting on the bench, how much did people talk about Utah because Cam Rising was in the wings? You have to be able to look in the mirror and know that was quite a bit of attention. All the preseason, all the postseason hype, all that stuff was centered around that one guy. And whether he played or not, it didn't matter. It's millions and millions of dollars of revenue. So why in the world, one, don't you pay him? I think you should pay him for what he's doing. And two, how is that regulated? It's certainly not some sort of $600 barrier.
Okay, so I think that there's a lot of confusion with this, okay? I think that we need to define terms on how this contract's supposed to work. A collective is not part of the university, guys. Revenue sharing is part of the university. That will be $20.5 million. That will be the university. That will be Ohio State. That will be BYU. The collective is an external entity structured typically as a for-profit or nonprofit. It's a separate arm funded by boosters of a school. So a kid goes in there and he signs a deal with a third-party collective and not a university. Big idea number one. It's not the university. He's dealing with the collective and signing a contract to get like NIL resources through a collective, and they pay him $1 million. What is he going to do in return for the collective to warrant that money? That's not through the university. So if it was through the university, I would agree with you, but it's not. It's external. The contract's through the collective.
You're right. Everything you've defined in the terms, that's exactly right. I just don't agree that even though the school is the badge he's wearing, that he's not carrying a huge commercial value wherever he goes.
He's for the school, yes, but what?
No, I'm not talking about the school. I'm talking about him as an individual. Drive a car, get paid. Go on an advertisement, get paid.
Like it's basically just it's morphing into a performance-based contract for the school, but it's not structured like that.
In my opinion, I think they're two separate things. I think that he carries value both ways.
I think that he carries probably that type of value if you lump it all together, but it's not structured like that. It's not supposed to be like that. That wasn't the purpose of NIL, guys.
Well,
that was never the idea of NIL at all.
A car dealership commercial is NIL.
Right. So like a car dealership,
a baseball card is NIL.
Right.
College football 25 is NIL.
Yes.
Okay. But
that was the idea.
Nike deal is NIL. That's millions of dollars.
And not a 5-star recruit. I'm going to pay you another $1 million for every star you have. That's not NIL. Right. That's just pay for play. That's inducements. That's performance based. So that's the difference.
It's advertising.
What are you advertising? Like you're the collective. What are you advertising?
You're advertising Nike. Everywhere you go, you wear the Nike Jumpman badge.
I've never seen anything like that. Like that's just not happening, guys. Like the collectives
they're
not part of the university. They're external, guys. No, it's not the university.
They are not. You're exactly right. They are external, and they're still paying them the millions of dollars.
So these external entities are contracting with the player, and the benefit's not that entity itself. It's some other entity, and it's the university that they want to support. Do you understand how
Kansas has done it for years for basketball players?
I'm just saying that's my issue with it. That's not NIL.
It's
just some hybrid, weird, messed up pay-for-play, and it needs to be kicked out. And that's exactly what Deloitte's saying. We're going to bring this model in to regulate this crap because really your NIL and stuff's worth $600, not $6 million.
Yeah, I disagree.
It's almost like buying a stock. These guys are buying Jeremiah Smith as a stock. They're saying, Jeremiah, here's $4 million to play for Ohio State. We believe by playing at Ohio State, you'll be on Big Noon all the time. You'll be able to do this. We're going to take money out of your pocket, essentially as your agents, to peddle your name, image, and likeness. The second part I would put up is Ohio State does not have any outside collectives anymore. Our collective is in-house at Ohio State in the athletic department. Both collectives merged. The chairs of both collectives sit on the board of the new NIL collective through Ohio State. And Ohio State's not the only one. Most big schools are doing that. The reason they're doing that is because of NIL Go. They want to have oversight to prevent any issues. My problem is you're going to have players who are going to file lawsuits and say, NIL Go is limiting how much money I can make. And that's not right in a capitalist society to limit how much money I can make. If somebody wants to give me $3 million to promote their car dealership in Columbus, Ohio, I should be allowed to do that, even if NIL Go says I shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's not any of their business what I do. There are lots of guys I know who played football at Ohio State. They end up in car dealerships. Why did they end up in car dealerships? Because they can make a ton of money, because when they need to close a car sale, here's Craig Krenzel. He's got a degree in molecular genetics, but he's the head person at this Honda dealership because he can come out, shake your hand, show you a national championship ring, and get you to sign the dotted line, and he gets a percentage of the commission. So, I mean, there are lots of ways that people continue to use name, image, and likeness, but at the end of the day, I think the NIL Go problem is going to be, you're going to have, somebody's eventually going to sue.
Yes, it's
somebody's going to get denied.
Yeah,
I mean,
somebody's going to sue.
We know suing. If you roll around, you're going to get sued 360 times. Whatever. Suits are suits.
Yeah, we're
not
not
always going to have. I don't want to hear any
that.
more about suits like being a deterrent. That's just where we freaking live, guys. It's left-right suit.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about suits. No, I didn't say anything
Yeah,
about
but
lawsuits.
I'm just saying that's where you're going to end up with NIL Go. It's not going to work.
Lonnie Johansson, $5 super chat, also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to have you here, Lonnie. Saying good afternoon from Northeast Kansas. Go BYU and U of U and the Big 12. And you will take a drink, and I will sit here and say thank you very much. Lonnie, do we have a cougar sound for him, Moen?
Give him a cougar.
Sure. Give him a cougar.
Please. That would be fantastic.
General Cougar.
There we go. That's a good one.
I don't know what sound a ute makes, but it sounds like it's complaining about NIL.
I think that's true too. Lonnie also has been a member for 17 months, and that's all I can do for Lonnie. 17 months. Appreciate you, Lonnie. Good afternoon from Northeast Kansas. Go Big 12. You said it twice, and I appreciate you twice, Lonnie. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so at the end of the day, Utes got it right. NIL Go is in. I think the dates by the end of the month, they're gonna start cutting checks July 1st, unless this Title IX lawsuit and the back pay lawsuit, and I know you hate that, Ute, but those have been filed this week. They could stop those checks going out.
Yeah, they could stop, but it's not gonna change anything unless they win the suit, right? Like it's not gonna.
We don't know where that's
nothing's
gonna
go. Change. So basically, this is going to be life for a while.
Yeah,
we can all agree about
certainly,
that, right?
yes. Yeah, I think that's right. And I think we need to learn to live within the bounds that are there. I just think that while the principle may be that this is the way the system's supposed to work, what we're going to find out is there are going to be ways to, I don't want to say circumvent necessarily, but exploit the rules as they are currently written. And that may or may not make people happy, but it is what's going to happen because money's always been in big time college sports. It's not going away.
I agree with that. The only thought I have to it though is like in the past, the Bagman. You ever read the Meet the Bagman article? Like the Bagman in the SEC back 10, 15 years ago would give a couple $100, maybe a couple thousand here, help a family member, buy a new car here. So you're looking at like how much in aggregate and total did that all cost? And like it was like well under 100,000 in typical cases and stuff. But we're talking about millions here. We're talking about different amounts. And if you try to go Bagman with a couple $1 million, you know what that's called? Tax evasion, guys. That's illegal. Good luck. You'll be going to the slammer and stuff if a collective tries to sneak you $2 million because you're a 5-star to go into school. I'm serious about that. This is no joke at all. It's completely illegal. It's always been illegal and stuff, but sometimes the dollar amounts are so small, they're kind of immaterial, moot. Right. When you're talking about millions, like with this cat's out of the bag and stuff, it's going to be an issue. Tax evasion is a real thing. And no one wants to be going to jail because the Bagman gave you $1 million to go play football.
No, you're absolutely true. Right. Let me ask another question. So, regardless of the lawsuits that we know are either filed or going to be coming, don't worry about those. We'll just take those for granted. The system as it sits, all Power 4 conferences came out and said, at least on their face, they're here to support it. Right. So let's talk about comparisons. Is the Big Ten and what they can supply in their revenue share the same as what Big 12 can supply in their revenue share? Are those two things equal just because they're both autonomous conferences?
No.
I wouldn't think so either.
The Big Ten's got more revenue sources. It's just
The SEC
got
and the Big Ten. We'll say
SEC and the Big Ten, they've got larger media deals. They've got more revenue sources. So it's not because the way the funding is set up through the House settlement, it has to be funded through the direct funding of the athletic department. And there's certain limitations on boosters and what boosters can do for that. And the athletic departments for a lot of Big 12 schools just don't have the same amount of money as the athletic departments for Big 10 and SEC programs.
Exactly right. 100%. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Moan's right. Ohio State's athletic department brings double the revenue than most Big 12 schools. So it's a pretty big difference. Like the
and that money will begin to tell over time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, how soon before the separation is insurmountable, if I could speak? 5 years?
Before the separate, I mean, I think that it's going to be painful this year because this is where the new media contracts kick in. And so it's 3 times more in media rights starting this year.
Yeah.
This is
I agree.
In the past, forget everything in the past. It was more of an even playing field. The uneven playing field starts coming this year, guys. And in the future.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's right. It does start this year. And then by 2030, 31, it's going to get to a point where the difference is so great that you don't have to talk about the Super League. You've already got schools that are separated just by income. It's going to be that stark, the difference. Lonnie Johansson gave away 1 membership tonight, Moen. What's going on with that?
Absolutely. Lonnie Johansson has gifted 1 membership to the College Football Mafia community. Thank you, Lonnie. That went to Noel Ramirez.
Woo-hoo!
Noel, if you are here in the chat, make sure you give a big thanks and a shout out to our friend Lonnie. And if you're watching on demand or listening to us on podcasts on the YouTube Music app, make sure you leave a thank you in the comment section for him. Lonnie will give you a cougar sound, and I will give you a cougar tail. Right there. Cougar tail on the screen.
That's the way to go. Let's represent.
Thank you, Lonnie.
The gym.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. And by the way, if you received a gift, consider giving somebody else a gift. Pay it forward. It's good luck, especially on Friday the 13th. Karma is real. And if you want to sort of keep that luck going, feel free to give somebody else a membership. That's kind of how we keep things going around here. Let's talk about the membership videos. What do you got coming up next, Ute?
Yeah, the big video that I'm working on is currently the let's see here. You jump to Moen for a sec, okay?
Oh, that's okay. Moen, what was your last members-only video?
My last members-only video was screwed up by the House settlement actually taking place. So I've had to start from scratch.
Oh, hey.
I think we're going to do the SEC. We did the Big 10 32. I think we're going to do a live stream where we're going to sit down and everybody, all the members, are going to help construct, based off of that new Big 10 at 32, what a 24 or 28 team SEC would look like for an NFL model of college football in the year 2035.
Very good. Yeah, that's exactly right. Ute, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Sorry, I thought you.
Hey, it's all good. So here, I'm going to pull this up because Moen's going to like this thumbnail right here. So I just worked on the thumbnail here. I'm going to pull it up like this. So I've got 2 videos coming in, like Big 12 dark horses, the sleeper college football playoff contenders. And then the next one here, Moen, this one's for you. This is your favorite face in the world and everything. If we get this pull up here. Here we go.
Ryan
Hey, Moen, there you go. Right there. Bottom
left, baby. Let's go.
Bottom left.
Let's
go. Absolutely love
that's your
that.
favorite face. So that one's coming right here.
That is savage. Let me find the savage. That's savage, dude.
Yes, it is.
That is savage as fuck.
I knew
Texas
like
State, man, with a little bit of funding, Texas State could be something. People.
Texas State's, that's going to happen, guys.
Texas State is number 8. Let's just start that chant.
There. Oh, number 8.
And by the way,
number 8. Let's go,
Texas
man.
State is number 8.
All right, you've coined it tonight.
enough with the photoshops about Memphis, Tulane, and USF.
Yeah, I
They
don't
are
see
not
that.
coming to the Pac-12. It's
Can-
over. Take Texas State at 8.
Yes.
Move on from there.
Yes. Yeah. So really quick, let's put a button on these. The rumor mill about Tulane, the rumor mill about Memphis is all that. It's all just to try to gin up attention. The Pac-12 right now, AAC, Athletic Conference, just paid out $12.5 million for last year. That's more than what is anticipated for the next media deal for the Pac-12. So why would they move? On top of the leaving money, on top of the fees, there's no reason to jump over to the Pac-12. Not now, at least. So just keep your eyes on the prize, Texas State. And I think there might be maybe one or two more to round out that scheduling thing. I think that scheduling thing still kind of screwed up as well.
You see that Wilner article said that the Pac-12 contract is going to be a little less than ideal.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that. We've been saying 10 million or less for a year.
It looks like it's going to be under 10 million, right?
For sure.
Man, I hope that that's not the case. I hope that it's up to 25 million for those guys.
No, yeah, I wish. That would be fantastic. We want Oregon State and Washington State specifically, who got screwed in the last realignment phase. We would like them to get picked up, but certainly the rest of the Pac-12, and for that matter, all the other G6 schools, we want them to be doing well as well. So, not cheering against that at one bit. Moen, Ryan Willie has checked in with another 5 gifted memberships.
Wow, my Badger brother from another mother checks in.
Yes, sir.
Let's give him some Badger sounds.
Give him whatever he wants.
Do it again. Do it again. One more time.
No. We got to give him Milwaukee Brewers.
We got one goddamn hit.
You can't say goddamn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Major League, baby.
And then we'll round it out with the up tempo on Wisconsin. Benjamin Griffin, Kenneth Stromness, BR7062, Nittany 89, WVU Mountaineer Lair with Kenny. You all received a gifted membership from our good friend Ryan Willie, representing the mighty Wisconsin Badgers. Make sure you thank Ryan in chat if you were watching on demand or listening on podcast on the YouTube Music app. Make sure you give a thanks in the comments section. I'm sure Ryan would appreciate it and consider paying it forward. Thank you again, Ryan.
Man, hey, do that Badger sound one last time, just for Ryan and for Wild U too.
I love it. Can I just tell you, I saw otters swimming in a river when I was fishing. That was really cool. I got a bunch of fishing stories from vacation, but it's not for tonight. Fox Condaro checking in saying, dumbfounded Wild Ute is this week's collectible variant.
Oh, man.
It's our new meme coin. We're releasing
that's pretty good.
Coin.
There you go. Yeah,
we're not going to release that, Moan.
We need a meme coin. I'm all for that.
We need a meme coin.
Hey, Moan, this one's for you right there. Look.
I need to cash out.
There you go, Moan.
Somebody create a meme coin for us so we can get millions and then bail. Let's see here. Mr. Ed Wayner checking in. University of Houston Cougars in the house. Good to see you, Ed.
Good to
hello,
see
gentlemen.
you, Ed.
It's good to see
Thank
you.
you for the tweet, by the way, Ed. I appreciated that.
And Tempest says that's an angry badger.
Yeah. There's really not a whole lot of calm badgers that I've found
I would tend to agree with that. I appreciate all the new members and the members that have kept us going. You guys have helped us really turn the corner this year, and we're looking to do bigger things this next season. So thank you so much for your loyalty. We really, really appreciate it. I've got about 15 more minutes. I hope everybody appreciates the time change. We did that for resource reasons. We want to cover as much of your time as we can. We're very grateful for that, and we appreciate you guys being patient and working with us as we've sort of gone to a different schedule. Jason Spangler, who feels strongly about this, by the way, agrees with you, says, okay, then set up a salary cap, benefits, restrictions, tax liabilities, contracts for the 500,000 collegiate athletes in America. Go ahead and make it a business.
Let him cook, Moan.
That's
Let
all you
him
got to
cook.
say. Let him
Look,
cook.
Let him cook right now.
I have no problem with collective bargaining. I don't have any issue
I don't
with
have a
collective
problem with collective
bargaining.
bargaining either.
Can you
Let
collective
him
bargain
cook
with nonprofit
Let him
entities,
cook.
guys? I don't know,
I
freaking.
said, let him
So
cook.
this is the answer. And I'm telling you right now, quote me, this is the answer. We go to a super league, we take out football, separate it from the rest of college sports, and it is its own entity. And now you can run it as a profit center.
And here is the problem with the collective bargaining agreement. You will not ever get it to work nationally. It will go to the conferences. The Big Ten and the SEC will have their own collective bargaining agreement that will pay the guys more than the Big 12 and the ACC.
Super league gets rid of that, Mo, and no conferences.
Well, you're going to
No
have
conferences.
conferences. You're going to
No
have
conferences. Just for football. We're only talking about
I
football.
think there needs to be a different breakaway, guys. I think there needs to be a 4-team breakaway. I think it needs to be Ohio State, Penn State, Utah, and Oklahoma State.
Uh-huh,
4-team breakaway. The
Yeah, you go-
super league, baby.
As
The
long as
super,
we're leaving,
super.
we're leaving Michigan out of it, I'm fine.
I mean, Michigan's
Fine,
got
that's it.
Penn State's in,
Oh,
Oklahoma
my
State's in.
gosh.
Let's go.
Bob Swanger's got it right. No super league. So suck that. Your 4-team super league. That's nonsense. What I'm saying is write checks, get the best players, and let's go. That's what I say. No limit on NIL. Limit is on revenue share. That's what Steele says.
Well, yeah,
It's true, but NIL Go can basically quash any deal they want to quash, and there's really no appeal process through NIL
No,
Go.
there
They just say no.
Well,
And
what
then
they
you go,
say is
well,
rework it. They'll say, this is not something we're going to pass. You have to do something else to make this work.
yeah,
That's what it is. It's called review and amend, or amend and review. I'm not sure which comes first. That's the process. It's in the documents. The NIL Go, you fill out their like 2001 Netscape page,
Yeah,
which is the stupidest interface I've ever seen in my
you
life.
go into their portal.
You go into their portal, whatever that looks like, programmed in Flash, and you go in, answer 5 questions, and there's your deal. That's how nonsensical the NIL Go is. And then you turn around and some black box in the background says this is fair market. Is
Well, yeah,
Ohio
that's all
State fair
financial
market?
all
can be the
financial
same?
models are proprietary. guys.
Come
It's
on,
not
that's
black
garbage.
box.
Fair market.
This is
It's all black
Deloitte. This
box
is one of the
garbage.
big 3, 4
Deloitte.
accounting firms.
Yeah, like who was it that worked with Enron? They did a good job auditing them too.
Arthur Anderson, they're out of business.
Yeah, that a little bit. Yeah, I think some are in jail. Anyway,
Have you guys seen how long this Q&A thing is with the NCAA?
yeah, I did look. Yeah, I told you I read the whole thing. No, I didn't.
You
but
read
I did
the whole
look at the
thing?
pages. No, I'm not gonna
There's
read all that.
36
That's garbage.
pages. Like, if anyone wants this, someone just throw this in the chat and everything. If everyone wants to dissect this, it's like
Well,
the Q&A.
I posted it on Twitter. People should be able to find it on
gosh.
Twitter. But go ahead and post the link. I don't care.
The defending conference.
You can read it yourself and then read how ridiculous half the statements are. There's some really just inane comments. The whole thing about they're gonna subpoena records, that right there broke it.
Non-institutional NIL and NIL Go. That's what. Hey, okay, that is the nomenclature. Non-institutional NIL, guys.
Okay.
Your collectives, non-institutional.
Oh,
Well,
brother, it's
congratulations to the guys who got it in before this.
Damn
Before
straight.
this starts.
Damn straight.
Because Fitzpatrick, the guy who committed to Georgia, decided to take an official visit to Ohio State, and then suddenly he locked down his recruitment.
I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, well, money was flowing, and now so much. I don't know. We'll have to see. Sun Devil ASU checking in saying, do the top 2 want to separate the revenue share numbers percentage of the average of P4 revenue? If it's only the Big Ten SEC, that revenue share number will increase to almost $40 million.
Right. I don't think they want to pay that. Guys.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I agree with like the analysis, but like the Big Ten doesn't necessarily want to pay a lot in rev share.
They want all the asset without.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's why the P2. That's why the Pac-12 is still in it. Is because they want that to filter down and spread out as narrow as possible because it keeps their liabilities lower.
Yeah, it's like
exactly
so
right.
They're trying to keep as much money as possible. I mean, it's a lot of money that you're shelling out in rev share. $21 million. You never had that expense before.
Dave's here says no matter what you call it, it's price fixing. Oh, price fixing.
Price fixing.
Haven't even talked about that. Mr. Ed Wainer, will Utah relinquish most hated Big 12 fan base title to Texas Tech fan base because the Texas Tech is spending $55 million paying players? It doesn't bother me in the least.
The short answer is yes.
No,
The
they're
long
not going to be
answer is
worse.
yes.
Utah's still the villain.
Utah is there's been a narrative shift actually over the last couple weeks here, guys. Utah is the hero and will save the Big 12 by winning a playoff game.
Oh, hey, there you go. Okay. All right.
I don't know when, but it's going to happen sometime.
Okay.
I do have an issue with this, Mr. Ed Wainer, simply because Texas Tech fans have spent the whole week on Twitter saying, when Ohio State spent $34 million, it wasn't a problem. When Texas Tech spends $55, it's no. When Ohio State spent $34 million, it was a problem. Every time somebody beat us, they brought up the fact that it was $34 million, and every time we beat them and they lost, they brought up the fact it was $34 million. So, it's going to be brought up every time.
And let's be clear, $55 million went to the entire athletic department. Went to softball, who just competed for the national championship. It's gone to other programs. Basketball spent a lot of money. It wasn't all football. So don't get it twisted. $55 million for the entire athletic department is how much they spent. It's a lot of money. I'm not trying to lessen the oil money. I'm just saying it wasn't all just for one sport. Ryan Willie checking in again with another $5 super chat. Like I said on Greg's show, Fickle needs to be careful who he hires. Oh, well, the recruiting coordinator is USC's problem now. Georgia Tech.
Well, if you insist, let me see.
That Wisconsin thing just will not die. Every time I look, I just don't understand. Why has Wisconsin even won? Have they made it to a championship game since what's his name left? Their coach left?
Boy,
I
think
Ron Dane?
No. It was
Ron Dane, maybe?
No.
When was the last time they were relevant?
2014, I believe they made the Big Ten championship.
And who was on that team?
I'm trying to think of the running back's name. He was in the NFL for
years.
He
was before Ron Dane.
Melvin Gordon.
He
was so studly.
He was a good runner.
I don't remember the coach's name. Gary Anderson. I want to say he was only the coach there for a couple years, and then he left.
Yep.
And so that would be the last time I recall Wisconsin being in the Big Ten championship game. I might be wrong, Ryan, but I'll give you the Georgia Tech anyway.
All right.
And trust me, Ryan wants to drink to forget that 2014 national championship game. I believe the final score was 59-0.
Yikes. Greg Fugard, peek around the corner in the house, saying representatives of the Big Ten labor will want to negotiate the Big Ten conference under collective bargaining. Those reps for labor players will not want to include Big 12 football players. Oh, I have no doubt that's true. I don't deny that that's what they're going to shoot for at all. Yeah, I think
But everybody needs to be under collective bargaining agreements. Every conference that you.
I think they should. I think so.
I think it needs to be more holistic.
I just don't know how they do it.
Level.
I do too. I think it needs to be national. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree with you. Yeah. I think it does need, but again, Moen's point and now Greg's point is, the amounts of money we're talking about are not really comparable between the conferences. So how do you collectively bargain players that essentially are technically worth a little bit more than others? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I just know that what we've got right now is non-workable, and NIL Go will go the way of the dodo eventually.
You guys really think so?
I think NIL Go's set to fail.
We'll check it out. What happens really, like in reality, if NIL Go falls? What world are we looking at for college sports at that point?
I think
the house settlement goes if NIL Go goes, right?
So it's very complex. My opinion and I don't know anything, right? I'm a nobody. My opinion is that NIL Go will become unworkable. It will be loaded down with so many challenges that it will be inundated. They will raise the limit from $600 to $10,000 or $20,000, something that's a little bit more reasonable for players to report. That isn't millions of dollars, but is more manageable. And then at that point, you're going to start to see a lot more responsiveness. In my opinion, $600 is completely unworkable, and they will have to adjust it. And then time will tell where it ends up.
I agree.
That's where
$600 is kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
it's way too low.
It should be like
A dinner is $600 anymore. I mean, you can't do anything for $600. Can't leave the house for
that's
$600.
Yeah.
You're talking about these athletes that literally the brands are worth millions of dollars, just their own personal brand. For them to go out and do something and you're going to make them report a $600 interaction. I mean, what are we doing here? And you know who's responsible for it? It's not the player, it's the school. The school can be penalized for the player not reporting. That's the funky thing. Is you going to hire an army of people to like hover over these players, protect them? Because that's what it's going to become.
Deloitte's now the sheriff of college football, guys.
Yeah, I hate to say
it's
it.
not the law, but it's the sheriff, baby.
I don't know. For $600, Nate, I could have a hell of a weekend and bond money. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You're drinking a sleeve or whatever. John Boxleitner got a couple comments for John. First, he says Wisconsin lost to OSU 59-0 in the Big Ten championship game. Totally sandbagged to bet the Buckeyes in the CFP over TCU.
Yes, but let's keep in mind though, the Buckeyes did beat number 1 and number 2 to win the national championship that season. So
okay, I don't recall asking, but okay.
Well, I'm just saying that he brings up TCU, but there was no Big 12 champion that year. That wasn't Ohio State's fault.
Right. And then his next comment is Wisconsin lost to OSU. Oh, he did it twice. I'm sorry. The same comment twice for some reason. I don't know. Let's see here. James Davis. Good to have you here, James. Good to see you. Love that what is that? Levi's jacket.
Yeah, nice jacket.
I had one of those, by the way. I had one with the fake sheep's fur in it.
No way.
How many of those? My son actually has it. I told him he could sell it on eBay for a lot of money, and he wants to keep it. There will be no collective bargaining because there are state that will not let that into state entity because these schools are public, so the state has control over them.
It's just another piece of mess right there, 100%.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. Yeah. It is an absolute nightmare. All right, I'm going to do one more comment, and then I'm going to get out of here. Don in Kansas says, look how many people we employ at the IRS to watch over people's taxes. That's exactly what they're going to turn into. NIL Go is going to turn into the IRS of college sports. Is that really what we want? Is that okay?
It's better than just having over-the-counter bag, man.
I just don't.
Listen, it's not tax evasion if you don't get caught.
You're not breaking a law unless you get caught. Yeah,
that is conciliary. How do you say the conciliaries?
Consigliere. Yeah, you have to get the G in there. You have to get
the consigliaries.
There you go. I gotta go. Everybody have a great weekend. It's great to see you. I'm glad I'm back. I haven't set up my shows for next week. We will be talking stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week, but the house settlement stuff I'm getting tired of, frankly. There's not a lot to talk about as far as actual action items. I think the next thing we all need to be looking for, and I'm just going to tip my hat in this direction, is this governance structure. The A4 governance comes up, I think it's the 23rd or something like that. I'll check on that for you. That is the next big bomb to drop before July 1st. When House is supposed to go into action. So we'll have to see what happens. And then the last thing, and this is just the last tweet on the way out, what is going on at Florida State? What's going on with their board of governors, board of trustees, whatever that is, and them hinting that big action might be coming and it might be only 24 hours notice. That's something I just want you to sort of tease on. Florida State, maybe. I don't know.
Just give everybody a heads up. Where did you hear this again?
It was on. Well, it was a board of trustees. It was at the end of the last board of trustees meeting. There was a 15-second clip from their, I think it's their AD or their president, and he said, "Just by the way, look out." And then he was out the door and basically closed the meeting. If I can find the link, I'll certainly put it out.
TJ Pittenger had the clip up on his Twitter.
Okay, there you go, TJ. I just saw it in passing on Twitter.
We're pulling that up.
But it's pretty crazy to see what it might be, and we don't know. But it's certainly a tease. Best of the rest, meaning Big 12 and ACC. Is it they're out and they're just going to fly by themselves for a little while before they're picked up, or do they go right to an SEC and a Big 10? I don't know. I don't even know that it has something to do with realignment. I just know that Florida State, he said something and people caught on to it. So, It's good to see you guys. I missed you.
Good to see
I
you,
know.
Nate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
good.
I hope you have a good weekend. Moen, your show is Sunday night.
My show is Sunday night, and I've got a bird in a skirt, so it will definitely
How
What
many
is
be.
this
birds
bird in
and
a skirt?
skirts do you got? Jeez.
I just got the one. I've still kept the skirt. I
ball
opened the
picture.
bird, but I kept the skirt. So
Okay. All right.
um,
All right. Well,
Are you
everybody
sure
have a.
that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
Ute.
ahead.
I was
I'm
just
just
gonna
yakking,
say,
go.
everybody have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble. Ute, Moen, tip your hat to you, and we'll talk soon. Everybody, stay out of trouble. Okay.
peace out.
See ya.
Thanks,
See you
Nate.
later. Moan, I'm gonna find this
Okay.
bird in the skirt drink.
It's called Thunderbird. You can find it. It's disgusting. I would never recommend anybody drink Thunderbird. It's even for bum
Is that
wine.
like
It's
worse than
bad.
boxed wine? We talking?
No. It's Thunderbird. They used to literally have a jingle. It would be, "What's the word? Thunderbird. What's the price? Mighty nice. Who drinks it most? Us poor folks." Yeah, it's just cheap bum wine, and they would call it bird in a skirt because you could walk around a city like New York City with your bottle in a brown paper bag, and they couldn't get you for open consumption. So, anybody, if you're out there listening, do not drink bum wine. It is not good for you. It's good. It's like Boone's Farm. Boone's Farm is a bum wine. Ripple is a bum wine. Wild Irish Rose is a bum wine. MD 2020, the infamous Mad Dog. Now I have drank Mad Dog 2020. I've drank some Boone Farms myself as well. So Mad Dog 2020, if you can get past the first couple swallows, you can drink Mad Dog 2020, but those first two swallows are awful hard. So I would not recommend it. I would not recommend it. But I mean, like, if you got $3 and you want to get drunk, Mad Dog 2020 is where it's at. Penn
The
State
Mad
Sport-
Dog?
Mad
You're
Dog.
lying.
It's called MD 2020. It's actually Mogan David 2020, but everybody, it's universally known as Mad Dog.
Is that
So,
worse than a Mickey's?
It's bad. It's like low end fortified wine. It's like 20%, and they just like overpower. It's like a grape Jolly Rancher mixed with antifreeze. It's not a pleasant experience. Penn State Sports Talk. I want to play Utah again. Great Rose Bowl.
You know
I
what?
agree.
That is what Penn State Sports Talk. That's why we're this 4-team breakaway that talked about a little bit earlier and stuff. There's a lot of speculation, at least on the College Football Mafia channel, amongst this guy right here about Penn State, Ohio State, Utah, Oklahoma State, and Wisconsin breaking away. Wisconsin's the new team that's been added. 5-team breakaway. Oh yeah, let's go play every week, Moan. What do you think about that? Playing Utah, Ohio State every week.
Hey, I put it in my list of the 32-team Big Ten. Utah was there. They're in the West Coast Division with their Pac-12 contemporaries. So let's see here. I want to get to some more recent comments because they're better. And that was a few days ago, wasn't it? My uncle, Timothy Green, my uncle used to drink Mad Dog 2020. You know there's more than one flavor now? I was surprised by that.
This is beer, though, right, Moan?
No, it's called LEFV, low end fortified wine.
You're lying.
No. It's look up MD 2020. You'll find it. Used to be only one. There used to be only one flavor of it. It used to be grape, and then I was at the gas station one day filling up, and I walked in there and saw a bunch of them. There's like an orange MD now. They've got all kinds of flavors. So
Holy smokes.
I can't imagine any of the flavors taste good. So better than moonshine. No, that's not true. You get some apple pie moonshine, get you some cinnamon sticks, some apple juice, some apple cider. You can do a lot with moonshine. You can make moonshine some good stuff.
Moan, I'm a little I don't know if I should ask this question, but what's the most bizarre thing you've ever drank before?
Moonshine would probably be it. But look at all these flavors of Mad Dog 2020. This is like, this used to not be a thing. It used to be grape MD 2020, and that's all you could get. It's screw top wine. Screw top wine is what it is.
That looks like a hangover.
It is a hangover. Oh, it's the worst hangover too. It's the worst hangover too. But I mean, like, if you had $10, you could get 3 bottles of it. You know what I mean? It's like when I was
buy that
growing
stuff
up,
at the grocery store, like a gas station.
oh, you can get it at a gas station most of the time. You could get like three bottles and 2 packs of cigarettes for $10 when I was a kid growing up. But I mean, that's what we, Pabst Blue Ribbon and MD 2020. If you had a girl, get her that Boone's Farm strawberry. Boone's Farm strawberry. Now that's good drinking.
I've got a feeling they couldn't sell this MD 2020 in Utah, though, at the grocery store or at the gas station, because the max ABV on anything you drink is 5%. And like it has to be like a more of a like it's kind of one of the specialty brews, right? If you wanted that.
I don't know how. I think it's probably around 19 to 20% ABV.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's not good. Like, I'm not. Listen, guys, this is not a recommendation for anybody to go out there and drink MD 2020. If, like I said, if you got $3 and you want to get drunk, you can drink MD 2020. It will get you drunk, but it will give you a hell of a hangover.
What about this one right here?
Tampico. What the hell is it? Tampico.
Isn't that the orange juice right there?
That's awful. I could only imagine how, like, the grape is awful. I could only imagine how awful these flavors are. Banana. What the hell is that? Banana raisin? Who would want that?
We got kiwi lemon.
Kiwi lemon? Yes.
That looks like the worst drink I've ever seen right there. The kiwi lemon MD 2020.
There's worse drinks than there are, like Shonsky will tell you, Thunderbird is nasty shit. It is. It's not good tasting at all. I would drink MD 2020 every day, all day, instead of taking a sip of Thunderbird. Thunderbird is like some nasty Icelandic, Swedish, seal fat derived some kind of alcohol. It's not even good. It's like really nasty. But it used to be like the cheapest liquor around, man. And you would catch winos with it all the time.
So the Thunderbird, they sell that in the store too, like in Ohio.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can still. I still think you can get Thunderbird. You might have to look, but I think you can still get Thunderbird. But it's nasty. I wouldn't recommend anybody to drink Thunderbird. That's awful. Thunderbird's just the nastiest. Tempest drinks Scotch. None of that weak stuff. I prefer whiskey.
Scotch is good. It is.
Flugar had plenty of Boone's Farm wine in college. Yep, it was cheap and the girls liked it.
I can't see Greg drinking a Boone's Farm though. Like that's
hey,
just
listen,
beyond...
man. I don't know how wild your youth was, but in my youth, if you could get, you could find some bum, you'd buy him a bottle of wine and he'd buy you a couple bottles, and you'd say, "Give me that Boone's Farm strawberry." Girls loved it. Say what you will about Boone's Farm, but my high school girlfriend was a fan, so there you go. More people lost their virginity to Boone's Farm than anything else, I'm telling you. Drank a bottle of MD 2020 in college, worst hangover ever. Yeah, the hangover is ungodly. It's ungodly. Manny Shevitz with a kick. No, Manny Shevitz is delicious compared to MD 2020. Boone's Farm is a headache from hell the next day wine. Yeah, because they're low-end fortified wines. They just kind of...
Like, what does that even mean, low-end fortified wine?
It means they brew a wine and then they actually put alcohol into the wine.
Shut up.
No.
So it's like basically like Everclear, like just throwing Everclear into like...
They throw garbage alcohol into the wine.
No way.
Yep. Apple pie moonshine is great. Absolutely, I love apple pie moonshine, but it's hard to find moonshine anymore. Timothy Green says blackberry moonshine is real good, or black raspberry moonshine is even better. Absolutely.
I bet that's way good.
MD 2020 now in pomegranate.
Vox still drinking the MD 2020? You know a lot about it, Vox. He's still drinking it.
I just saw it at the gas station one day and said, "What the F?" MD 2020 in Tampico. I think we touched that one. Strawberry Hill. I've never had Strawberry Hill.
Nah, I've never had it either.
I blame vodka distillers finding out that girls like flavors. Absolutely. That is 100% right. We're going to cheer you on that one, Vox Quindaro. It, once we got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 flavors of that absolute vodka. Yeah. That was the end of it. Tempest went to Kentucky and had moonshine. That was the best.
Moonshine's good. I've had moonshine before.
Yeah, moonshine's good. If I'm ever in Kentucky, I always try and pick up the good Everclear. We don't get the good Everclear. No, Everclear is as close you can get to moonshine legally as possible. It's like 180 proof in Kentucky. You can get 180 proof. In Ohio, it caps at I think 160.
Like the only time I've ever heard of anyone using Everclear is for like jungle juice, like in college parties, right? Like, is anyone drinking that just straight?
It's grain liquor. You can drink it straight. It burns like hell. Thing we used to do in college is say snake pussy. Get all the S's out. Get all the S's out so it wouldn't be so hot. Lee says MD 2020 is terrible. It is. It is. I'm not saying, I'm not endorsing it. Steel Reserve. Steel Reserve is also awful. Steel Reserve is also awful.
Had that before.
Mickey's and King Cobra, two worst drinks. Now you're talking malt liquor, which I am not a fan of malt liquor.
No, the Mickey's experience a couple weeks ago was not a pleasant experience.
Ugh.
Love being on the show, but that Mickey's drink was rough. That's the Notre Dame, man. Anytime we talk about Notre Dame, we're getting Mickey's, man. That's Mickey right there. The Notre Dame mascot is Mickey.
Is that the name of the leprechaun, Mickey?
No, but it's for our channel. It's Mickey. Mickey.
Almighty Finn brings up Everclear. There you go. Dave's here says banana raisin sounds like prison hooch. You're absolutely right. If you don't mind your wine being brewed by a toilet and Kool-Aid, you got it. Prison hooch is made from Jolly Ranchers. It's not actually. It's Jolly Ranchers are used to flavor it. You actually do need raw fruit and some yeast to ferment it next to the toilet. And Tempest will tell you, and rotten fruit, absolutely. Vox Quindaro says the bird is getting unfairly besmirched. Vox, I will give you $50 if you come on live and drink a bottle of Thunderbird. That is a standing offer.
We're going to give you a super chat, Vox.
I will give you $50 if you will come on live on the College Football Mafia Big Freaking Friday and drink. You just open it up and you drink it straight. You drink that Thunderbird. Because I challenge you. I don't think it can be done. I think it's one of those tasks we would have to call the Guinness Book of World Records, because even winos I know that drank Thunderbird would get that smirk on their face when they had to swallow it. It is nasty. It is the worst tasting alcohol ever invented. Everclear can start your engine. That's absolutely true. It can.
So, like, looking at Almighty Finn here, what's really going on? I was looking for the Pittenger tweet. I couldn't find it. If anyone has that, what's going on with this meeting at Florida State? I want to dig into that a little bit more. I'm curious about this and stuff. I haven't seen much about it. Let me see if
you keep looking. I'll see if I can find it, because I saw the video yesterday. I believe it was on Greg's show. You keep scrolling through the comments and all.
Florida State is not staying in the ACC, though. Like, we know that.
No, but
it's just a matter of time.
Right. I think it might have been a little overblown. He was just like, hey, be ready for, this. I'm
not sure. Yeah, like it seems like that would have got a lot more smoke if it was something about leaving ACC, and that's where we're taking everything. Look, Florida State's going to be eventually leaving the ACC, but it's probably not going to be this offseason, right? Do you agree with that too, Mon?
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be. I don't know why there's a bunch of balloons on Twitter, but thank you, Twitter.
If you wait until next season, it's cheaper. But like the big thing is, like, if you are trying to make the move into the Power 2, you want to be in for the 2027 season. Made mention before in the UNC video, talked about that too. Just the media rights really jump compared to the ACC media rights. Even when you're considering a brand initiative, you got to make that move by 2027 for like your future cash flow sake. If you're doing like the projection-based analysis and everything, and we did in that video. So I am just of the mind that anybody that has a potential option has to pull the trigger and be in the Power 2 for the 2027 season. That means probably getting out next year and expediting things to be playing in the Big Ten or the SEC by 2027.
Well, you would need the Big Ten or the SEC to want you by 2027. But here's a clip from TJ Pittenger's channel. This is from the Board of Trustees meeting earlier this week. And this is the chair of the Board of Trustees, Collins.
Like I said, you may be hearing something from us next week about an impromptu meeting. And I just ask everybody to bear with us on that. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Like I said,
and that was the, I know that wasn't a big, what we made it sound out, but Florida State fans were running with it. I think kind of hey, this might happen. Like they weren't making a big deal about it. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. If it's something, it might be something very minuscule or picayune that they need to bring up.
He did have a smirk on his face. That is, he has a smirk. So there's something like he knows he's got this little secret and everything, but is it like, hey, we're leaving the ACC secret? Like he'd probably have this big old fat toothy smile, right? If he knew that they were leaving the ACC.
You have to have somewhere to go. Do you believe? I don't believe the Big Ten and the SEC have a place for Florida State to go yet.
I agree with that.
So
today.
I don't think it's necessarily about that.
I don't know why the Big Ten still. Like I don't know why you thumb your nose at Florida State so much over there in Big Ten lands.
Again, you try and paint me and make me the villain against the Florida State people. Remember, U is for the 4-4-2-2 model, by the way, if anybody wants to get on Utes case. But listen, there were people in the Big Ten who did not like the Board of Governors of Florida and the Santa Ono situation at the University of Florida. So, Tony Lawson says Boone's Farm was probably 50 cents a bottle when Greg was in college. I live in Moonshine Country, so it's easy to get here. We're not gonna just judge anybody or give anybody's names out here. So congratulations, Lee. Jose says Sky Vodka guarantees 0 hangover.
Sky.
Yeah, Sky is in a blue bottle. Vox Quindaro says I'm plugged in. Okay, Vox, get the bottle of Thunderbird, man.
You got it. That is the deal, Vox. $50 to you.
$50 to you. You get that Thunderbird and you pound that sucker. I will give you $50.
You will live in infamy on our channel forever.
Yeah,
it'll be fantastic.
And you keep it down. You keep it down too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come on that show for 10,000 and kill a bottle of that shit. I don't blame you.
Oh my gosh. No, don't blame me at all.
We got Stormy Cyclone is rooting for Vox. He's saying Vox, Vox, Vox. Frank the Tank. Almighty Fid saying Thunderbird. Shonsky's got it right. He'll puke. Yeah, I can't see it happening. It's nasty. Thunderbird was affordable in the 90s. I'm sure it's still affordable now. It has to be. Mad Dog 2020 purple. That's the only flavor they had when I was growing up.
There's no purple anymore, guys.
There's still
It's this
purple.
nasty green stuff right here.
No. There's still purple. Trust me, there's purple out there. That's some
Purple.
people's drink of choice. When Bomber left, the alcohol started flowing. Don't let Bomber fool you. He drinks MD 2020 all the time.
Yeah, right. He does not moan. He'll kill you if you said that.
MD 2020 is a wino drink. Well, yes, it's definitely not a. I remember that my uncle, he got really upset with me because they didn't have any grape wine and all they had was orange. And when I brought it back, he was not in such a good mood anymore. Some people do enjoy MD 2020, right? Rob Ellen says in early 2024, Collins, who we just saw, said Florida State would pay $150 million to get out of the ACC. It's at that number now, is it not?
It is. Yeah, it's just like, do they have the invite? Like you mentioned, Moan. And I agree that they don't have an invite to the SEC or the Big Ten today, or else they would be gone. They'd be gone yesterday. That's a no-brainer decision if you have the invite at pretty much any dollar amount. Half share, 60% share, 65, 70, 20. It doesn't matter. Getting in is all that matters.
James Davis says, I think it's TMH because Tallahassee wants to get out of it. I don't know what you mean by TMH, but we'll see. Almighty Finn says grape is the best MD 2020. Best is a little brutal. It's probably the most palatable.
I don't know, guys. That looks pretty gross.
Let's see. We're going to put it out there to chat now. You put me on the spot and made it how I had to say the GB word and sing Hail to the Victor. How much in a super chat is it going to cost you for you to drink some MD 2020?
How much in the super chat?
How much in a super chat for you to
Look,
drink?
Moan,
some
you can't even
MD
get
2020?
that stuff out here in Utah. How the heck would I even get a hold of that kind of stuff?
I could ship it.
Moan, you ship it. That stuff looks like it goes bad quick.
Oh, no. It never goes bad. It's always bad.
Gee, man. Look, okay, here's the deal. I will drink if you ship it to me, Moan, I will drink an MD 2020 during a Big Freaking Friday show. Not before. I will drink it during, and I'll do my best to finish it before the show's over.
How much is the super chat for? I mean, if I got to go out of pocket and spend whatever it is now, $4.99 for the MD 2020 and the $13 to illegally smuggle it, so you guys are making me a bootlegger to bootleg MD 2020 to the state of Utah.
How in the world are you going to get MD 2020 over Salt Lake City, Utah? That's what I want to know. This stuff does not exist in the state of Utah. This is definitely Ohio stuff right here, Moan.
I don't know. You got to come up with a price, man. This is a great question for Sun Devil ASU. Did you see Moen's big super conference video? If so, what are your thoughts?
I loved your video about the super conference, Moan. I loved it. I can see how some didn't love it, but I personally loved it. I would love to see that happen. Do I think it's realistic? I do not. I would love it though, right? I don't see the Big Ten ever expanding to more than 24 teams. So going past 30 teams. There we go.
There we go.
Let's look at this.
There is
this is really nice.
Let me figure out how to turn off
Okay,
banners.
let's look at this.
I don't want banners. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this.
Smokes.
This is from the Wednesday video. If the Big Ten got a 10, 20, $30 billion private equity deal, decided to go to 32 teams to essentially form an AFC, NFC with the Southeastern Conference. West Coast, you've got Washington, Oregon, Stanford, Cal, USC, UCLA, Arizona State, and Utah.
The Pac-12.
The original, or not original Pac-12, but close to, a Pac-12-ish conference. You got some Big 8 teams in here: Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, along with Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Texas Tech or TCU, one or the other.
Man, where's Oklahoma State? Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, unfortunately, you got to have a team from Texas. Central, Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, Purdue, Northwestern, Ohio State, Penn State, Rutgers. And then you would have the ACC conference, essentially, which is Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, Duke, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Miami. That would be the 32-team Big Ten. You would have play-in games to determine who your conference champion is, and then you would probably have a playoff system with the SEC. I think for our next members-only stream, we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out what the SEC is going to look like here. We had a lot of people throw out people throwing out UNLV, people throwing out Boston College. We're going to sit down and figure out what this new Major League SEC would be in our next members-only conference live stream. So definitely check that out. It should be a good time.
Moan, let's play a game. Let's have an experiment here, okay? I love everything I'm seeing here. The visuals are fantastic. Kudos. Let's just say that we took this roadmap and we had to cut it by 8 teams to get to 24. Let's start cutting teams.
Well, I hate to do this to you.
You're not doing that first. Don't even dare do that first, Moan. Really? You're saying that Utes are 32? I wouldn't do that.
I'm taking Utah and I'm taking Arizona State off of the West Coast.
What about freaking Cal, dude?
Yeah, but they like Cal.
Dude, Cal isn't the same market as Smith.
Okay, you're right. I'll take Utah and Cal.
Cal goes first in the West.
I'll take Utah and Cal. We're keeping Arizona State. We've got to have a team in Texas. We're not letting go of any Big Ten teams out of that Plains division.
Why don't we go to Atlantic first then? Okay, let's not go to West yet.
Atlantic,
let's reverse that. Okay.
Atlantic, we would take. We'd get rid of Duke.
Duke's
and we
gone.
get rid of Georgia, and we get rid of. We get rid of Florida
Virginia.
State.
You don't need Virginia.
I have to get rid. Again, in this 32 model, it's about markets. It's about dominating the marketplace domestically. I got to have a team in Virginia. I have to. I have to have one for DC marketplace. And yes, Maryland is in there already, but I got to have Virginia. So I'm going to take Duke, and I'm going to take Florida State. And before the Florida State fans start,
you got to be kidding.
Listen to me. International deals. Miami would be huge for international deals in Latin America.
How many international deals are the Big Ten doing? Come on, though.
Well, we don't know.
Great.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know what the future of college football is. Maybe we've seen the NFL move more towards Europe and more towards Mexico. Entirely possible that another if you're going to make a super conference, if you're going to run an NFL model, you might want to reach out to other locations. So I think Miami, Latin America, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Brazil, Spain, all those locations, you need that. You only need one school in North Carolina. Sorry, Duke, I'm taking North Carolina over you.
Duke's out. Georgia Tech is out before Florida State.
Now, I got it. Atlanta market. Atlanta's the number 7 market domestically. I've got to keep it.
Okay, so on Moan's list, Florida State and Duke get cut from the Atlantic Division. Okay.
In the Central Division, I'm taking out Northwestern and Rutgers.
Okay.
And listen, Chicago, I get it. Northwestern, Chicago, you've got Illinois in the state of Illinois already, so I'm not worried about that.
All right, so you need to cut 4 more, right?
I got to cut 4 more. In the Plains Division,
Colorado.
I'm taking Colorado off the list. I'm taking Kansas off the list.
Man, I don't know. You
And then
keep Nebraska, you keep Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, definitely, Wisconsin, yeah.
On the West Coast, I would take Cal and Utah off the list.
You do realize Utah's the fastest growing market in the nation, right? Number one for business, Mo?
I
need to give you a presentation, Mo?
I understand, but remember what I said about Miami, Arizona State. Arizona Cardinals have huge fan base in Mexico. I have to believe that if I'm going to go international at some point, if I'm going to push international marketing, I want to have Arizona State in there for the Latin Americas, for Mexico, to try and push into those markets. So I've got to take those. Unfortunately, Utah just does not get me the kind of markets that I need. Same with Colorado. Kansas is tough. Kansas is tough because you can make the argument between Kansas and Iowa. You can make that argument. I'm not going to deny that. Nebraska, again, you're not getting a huge market in Nebraska, but you're getting a huge brand in Nebraska, even though it hasn't been a brand for more than 20 years. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. You make your cuts.
Okay. Well, we're 32. So we're going to start in the Atlantic. And for the Big Ten, I'm cutting Duke. I'm cutting Clemson. Culture-wise.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, culture-wise. I just don't see Clemson really fitting as well into the Big Ten based on its research spending. It just doesn't seem like a fit to me. So Clemson, Duke are out. Georgia Tech, and maybe even Virginia. I would be haircutting that sucker pretty hard, but I would have Florida State, Miami in. I would have North Carolina definitely in, and Maryland's already in. So, yeah. So, I mean, you're haircutting a lot there. Central, these are all Big Ten schools, so you're not cutting anybody out. We know that. Plains-wise, Colorado is the first to go. I think Kansas is a fit for Big Ten. Like, I mean, it makes sense for Kansas and Big Ten. Texas Tech is not a fit for Big Ten. TCU is more of a fit, but not a great fit either. I know you want to get into Texas, but I'm probably taking Texas out.
All right. Now, see, you did this. You did me dirty here. You did me real dirty. You're like, you got to cut 2 from each division. And
I'm sorry. You know what? Yeah, I was just saying you got to cut 8 in all.
And then you went and cut like 6 from the Atlantic and left everybody else in place. So now I'm going to tell you go back and cut 2 from each division.
What? I can't cut 2 from Central because they're all in the Big Ten.
You got to cut 2.
They're not going to get cut out of the Big Ten.
I cut Northwestern and Rutgers. You got to cut 2.
Okay, so if I had to cut 2 from each?
Yes.
All right, let's go west. I'm cutting Cal, and I'm cutting Arizona State. Okay. So then in the Plains, I'm cutting Colorado, and I'm cutting the Texas schools. And then the Central, I'm cutting Ohio State, and I'm cutting – just kidding. I had to make sure you're still awake, Moan. Here, so I'm cutting Rutgers and Northwestern, with Indiana being a small – right there on the cusp too, though, being cut. And then only 2 from the Atlantic. I would chop this thing down pretty heavy. But if I could only cut 2, it would be Duke, number 1. And then probably Georgia Tech.
Okay. You would cut the Atlanta market. I see how it is.
I mean, it's not like Georgia Tech commands the Atlantic market. This is bulldog country, man. Come on, be honest about it.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying for TV partners, man, it might make a difference.
Like you're talking about cutting like Florida State? Florida freaking State?
No, I'm not cutting anybody. I want to have all 32 teams. Let's be honest here. I want 32 teams. I want the most powerful conference in America. You're the one who said you've got to cut it down to 24.
I just don't think it's going to expand beyond 24, right?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Ryan Willie with a super chat, $2 super chat. He says Sankey would blow a gasket Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about on that next members only stream, Ryan. So definitely check that out. How would Sankey respond to this 32 team Big Ten? He's got his Goldman Sachs private equity deal. How is he responding? Who is he taking? We kind of mentioned some names on Wednesday's stream, but we're going to do some polls and we're going to get it figured out and figure out how the SEC is responding. Now, just as a caveat for ACC and Big 12 fans, this does legitimately kill the ACC and Big 12 as power conferences. It simply does, because you take too many teams from the Big 12 and the ACC for them to essentially operate as power conferences. So thank you for the $2 super chat. We'll give you a little evil badger laugh because I know you would enjoy him blowing a gasket.
Sankey really would blow a gasket. I mean, I think that the tables have already turned against the SEC. I think the Big Ten has all the momentum. That's why this NIL Go is so important for SEC. I mean, I like it, but the SEC needs it to remain elite and compete versus the Big Ten because of the collectives behind the Big Ten schools. And so, I don't think the SEC is nearly as strong as I think they are.
Oh, essentially, this is what the thought was behind this on Wednesday was this is a power grab. Private equity would come in and say, we want to dominate the marketplace. We want where there's no competition. Give us 32 markets and all that good stuff. So thank you for the super chat, Ryan Willie. It's much appreciated. We got about 6 minutes left here, guys, on the show. I'm sorry we got into that tangent about bum wine. But we will get a bottle of MD 2020 to you somehow if somebody wants to give the super chat. If there's anything else you want to have read before the end of the show, it will have to be a super chat. We got a lot of comments marked here from members that we're going to try to get to before the end of the show. Tempest says, we want out. Fair enough.
You will get it.
ASU is a party school. Can't cut them, you.
So I love ASU, okay? I do love ASU. I don't love Arizona. The Wildcats of Arizona, don't love them as much. But ASU and Utah and Wisconsin were kind of spirit animals, us three. Us three. So the party vibes of ASU with the conservative vibes of Utah, and then the mixture of the Badgers of Wisconsin. I think that is great. Spirit animals.
Spirit animals. There you go. That's legitness.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was. Huh?
Give him that Badger sound. It's the best sound we've got.
You just love that Badger sound. Wild U is either young or was really sheltered as a teenager.
Guys, I grew up in freaking Utah.
He grew up in Utah, guys. we gotta cut him a little bit of a break. You gotta
give me some break. Yeah, like my high school experience wasn't like yours.
Right.
Fantastic, but it wasn't like yours.
He got a good education, but not the street education the rest of us had. Wild U has led a sheltered life, immersed in bettering himself, unlike the rest of us.
Until I drink that MD 2020.
Until you drink that MD 2020. Then you'll see. W. Jason Spangler says, Kansas a better fit in SEC, in my opinion. Too many great connections. Mizzou, Kentucky, etc. That's true. That Kansas-Missouri rivalry, bleeding Kansas, that's a very big rivalry. And we know, like Bob Thompson told us, rivalries make money.
If there's any, I think that the most attractive school to the Power 2 is Kansas to the SEC out of everybody. I think just like Jason's saying here, there's so many wins there. Like you're getting into a new state footprint. It's a contiguous state. You're adding the basketball brand, rivalry with Missouri. It makes so much dang sense to bring Kansas into the SEC, even over the Big Ten. That to me, that's like the most logical, easy to see ad of anybody in the Big 12 going to the Power 2. So I agree with that 100%. I think that if the SEC does go to 20, that could be in play, certainly if it's going to 24.
Okay. Rob Ellen, our resident Clemson fan. No mob going to show up at Moen's house with bats and hats. Listen, Moen lives in a cabin in the middle of the woods. So if you can find your way here, you can show up. We'll have a drink. I've still got a bird in the skirt. I've got enough to go around. And I got some other special stuff that we can have that'll calm everybody down. So I appreciate your concern, though, Rob. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for being a member. Let me get through a couple more comments here, and then I'm going to put a Tarleton ad up again because Nate's not here to stop me. And
put that Tarleton up.
Put that Tarleton ad up. Let's put that Tarleton ad up for
Jason smoking a Tarleton.
For a long day of stalking camp counselors, Tarleton. That's how Jason relaxes in his home with his recliner.
You think Jason's smoking a pack of Tarleton? That's elite.
Jason Spangler says, "Oh, Clemson in." Cheers to that. Stormy Cyclone, the Iowa Cyclone, absolutely. Iowa State, they're probably going to wind up in that SEC, maybe. Tune into that members-only live stream. Thanks for the comment, Stormy Cyclone. Rob Ellen agreed. We drink moonshine, and we aren't AAU. Fair enough. Look for NFL cities, basically. Look for domestic markets and international opportunities.
Like, Moen, okay. Look, I know the show's almost over and everything, but like the international opportunities, come on. Like, it's college football. Like, it's college football.
It's NFL.
What international opportunities
Listen,
are
they play a game in Ireland every damn year.
Yeah, but like going to Latin America, like, do you think you're going to go to Honduras and play a game and get a bunch of fans or something?
Well, not
like, that's
Honduras.
not
I'm
realistic,
talking about
dude.
a Latin American country that has money, like Brazil. I'm not saying go
to South America, to go to Argentina.
Yeah, go to Rio de Janeiro where they've got like 100,000 seat soccer stadium and have the Miami Hurricanes playing against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I'm saying that could be a money game. We don't know. I'm saying, look, I'm not saying this 32 team Super League is coming next Tuesday. I'm saying this is 10 years down the road. Yeah, Stormy Cyclone brings it up. We talked about it earlier this week on that episode. Dubai pays for everything. You don't think that they would pay $250 million for a college football game in Dubai?
Maybe the game. Put the game in Dubai. Michigan, Ohio State, baby.
Maybe. Tarleton Kings. Jason would rather fight than switch, and he would probably win. And if he didn't win, he'd at least get a sequel. I'll give this one to you. This will be our last comment because we do have to go, guys. Great minds you. So I'm
give him that squawk. Give him that Jayhawk squawk.
Give you that Jayhawk squawk, Jason Spangler. I'm giving that one to you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We do have to take off. Want to appreciate everybody's comments. Want to give thanks to not Nate because he doesn't unstar comments. Rockin' Rant, MBM, Nitwit with the $50 donut. Lonnie Johansson, and then Ryan Willie. Badger sound to end it. Thank you guys for keeping the lights on here. We will catch you guys next Friday. Peace out.